The Ocean's Illustrated. It is a deeply hazardous endeavour. Jared Hill, senior reporter with CBS News, has more.
It has had a number of successful journeys down to the Titanic and down in that area. But again, they do repeatedly say that this is a dangerous mission. We do know that there have been some questions raised even by a CBS News correspondent who took one of these trips, who was looking at the vessel itself and looking at some of the capabilities, and he was raising questions about, this maybe doesn't seem the most sophisticated. This is not a massive submarine that some people may be thinking about. This is about the size of a minivan. There is not a huge stash of food or water. So this is a vessel that is designed for these types of quick exploratory trips.
There are only 5 countries with submersibles capable of taking humans to some of the lowest depths on the planet, and this week's events will lead to a fresh focus on their safety. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, time is running out to find the missing 5 passengers aboard the submersible that lost contact whilst on an excursion to view the wreckage of the Titanic. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in the US on his first official state visit to the country, and President Volodymyr Zelensky says reconstruction is key to restoring normal life in Ukraine. He was remotely addressing the Ukraine Recovery Conference in London. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
You're listening to
Northern Light Public Radio
on 102.7 KCHW.
Tooele.
Good morning, it's your KCHW Morning Show. We're joined with Scott Allen, Mike Bentz, and myself, Chuck Ritchie. Later on today, we're going to be joining Brad and Virginia from the Columbia Valley. Is it the Columbia Valley Creamery or Columbia Community Creamery? I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
Yeah, you got it right the last time. There you go.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Sorry
CCC.
about that. back where I used to live in Alaska, we actually had, it was the something Valley Creamery, and I get it messed up. Anyway.
No
How
worries.
are you guys doing this morning?
There's only one. People
Right.
can't.
The Creamery in Tooele.
Well, first day of summer in Maine, looking pretty good today. How about Montana there, Mike?
Well, a little chilly this morning, but sun's out. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. It'll warm up. And no wind for the first time in a week.
No,
Wow.
Yeah.
It was chilly
Yeah.
here last night. It was about 8 o'clock. It was 47 degrees.
We beat you. We were 38 this morning.
Ooh. Yeah, that's
Wow. Wow, no thank you.
Yeah, I have not ridden my
sure
bike the
you're not
last
living
couple
in-
mornings.
You sure you're not living in Butte?
No, it was probably minus 38 this morning.
Yeah. They had a hurricane in Butte yesterday.
What?
All right, Mike, some sad news about Mike. Mike has given notice that just a couple more shows. And he said Chuck's doing so well, he's going to go ahead since he moved away and back out. So this is your chance to protest for the next 2 weeks.
Right? Can I as the new station manager, can I refuse his resignation?
I think you probably could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, I refuse it.
Oh, okay.
So what you do sometimes like that is you move him to a utility position and say, when I need you, you'll say yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say utility
I
closet.
agreed to do that.
You did. You did. So, you had your big party before you left, and people love you, and we appreciate you, everything you've done, and showing up every Wednesday and sharing with everybody what's going on in Tooele.
I was thinking, it's been just a little over 5 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
Wow.
It does not seem that long.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe we've been doing Wednesdays together for 5 years. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
All right. What that means, though, is just a couple more rounds of Wednesday morning dad jokes with Mike Bentz. Give it to us, Mike.
Okay, all right. Okay. Chuck,
Yes, sir.
what kind of music do mummies listen to?
I don't know. What kind of music do they listen to?
Rap music.
That was good.
Okay, all right. You know, the other day I wondered why the frisbee was getting bigger.
The what was?
The frisbee was getting bigger,
Okay.
and then it hit me. Okay, now this one, Scott. What kind of car does an egg drive?
A Prius?
Because it's so gentle.
Yes.
No, guys. A Volkswagen.
Ouch. Ouch.
And my last word of wisdom this morning is I noticed this morning, actually. My sensitive toothpaste gets really jealous when I use other toothpaste.
Stop being
That's
so
all kinds of
sensitive.
wrong.
Okay, is that enough?
Yes.
Unless you have more.
More next week, though. A big blowout next week, okay?
Big blowout? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
So I typed in, I told the Chat GPT AI that you were going to be doing your morning dad jokes, and I needed one that was better. And this is what it gave me. All right. So this is what the Chat AI gave you guys this morning. It says, I was going to tell a time traveling joke, but you guys didn't like it.
Oh, that's pretty lame.
And then I said, how about some tall jokes? Tall jokes, as in Mike Bent's kind of tall jokes. And it said, what did the doctor say about the tall person who was in a rush to see him?
What did he say?
I wish he was a little patient, like Scott. I think I've done this one before. How do you make a tall person look more awkward? By the way, you're both tall to me.
Stand next to them?
No, you can't. You can't make him look more awkward. What's Mike's worst fear?
Low ceilings?
Yeah, ceiling fans.
Ceiling fans, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Scott, you've never had the problem of raising your hands and being hit by a ceiling fan, have you?
Never.
Oh, I have one in my bedroom that I get myself on at least once a month. Changing shirts, yeah.
The best one I saw, I think I've shared this on the radio before. I was working at a nightclub and a fight broke out, and somebody decided they really wanted to see that fight. So they went to stand up on a bar stool so they could see the fight. And they got up on the stool, but when they went fully erect, the ceiling fan caught him in the forehead and took him right to the ground. Pretty entertaining.
Wow.
All right. One more I think I had that was pretty good. Oh, how many tall people does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Just one.
Just one.
No, two. You need one to get the chair and the other one to call a short person for help. By the way, if you didn't know this, tall people look like slinkies when they run. There you go.
I can see that.
You can see that.
I can see that.
All right, look at the weather forecast for today. Another cool day. We're going to warm things up in Chihuahua. 67 for a high. Cloudy skies this morning. Become partly cloudy this afternoon. A few clouds tonight, down to 49. So just a few clouds. You might get lucky and be able to see that planetary alignment in the sliver of the moon that's supposed to happen tonight.
Yeah.
For the first, let's see. No, today is the first day of summer. So only 67 for the first day of summer. Tomorrow, though, 75 and 49, partly cloudy. Friday, 83 and sunny. For the weekend, 81 and 82, respectively, for Saturday and Sunday. And right now, Monday and next week, looking to be in the upper 80s. So definitely some summertime weather coming your way. Let's see, kids, I had something on summer solstice then. Is it summer solstice all over the world, you guys?
So, is it summer solstice all over the world?
That's a good question.
Yeah. No.
No is correct. It's only in the northern hemisphere. We're almost Almost 90% of the world's population lives in the northern hemisphere around the globe. People south of the equator in places like Chile, South Africa, and Australia are having their winter solstice, their shortest day of the year there, where we have our longest day and shortest night. Let's see, it happens today. Let's see, summer solstice officially begins at like 10:58 Eastern, so in about 27 minutes. Who gets the most sunlight? The differences in how much daylight you get become very dramatic as you get closer to the poles and further away from the equator. Let's see, what else do they have here? Folks all over the planet actually did get nearly equal doses of day and night during the spring equinox, but the amount of sunlight in the northern hemisphere has been increasing daily ever since. And believe it or not, it already starts getting shorter after today.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They had some good stuff there, but now I can't seem to find it. How do people celebrate summer solstice? The ancient stones of the monument in southwest England, dating around 2500 BC, which are known, of course, as Stonehenge, were aligned by its makers astronomically. The central axis of Stonehenge was aligned with the sunrise at the summer solstice and sunset at winter solstice. So the stones precisely framed the rising and setting sun where the days were at their longest and shortest. And it still works like clockwork in modern times. Isn't that crazy?
I think those people definitely knew something we don't know currently.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's some lost knowledge there somewhere.
Let's see, you can Google this, English Heritage. The English Heritage Society organizes and gathers at Stonehenge for the summer solstice and produces a live stream of the sunrise. Other cultural traditions, a lot of these come from pagan backgrounds. In Sweden, the Midsummer Eve celebration is tied to solstice, always being held on Friday, that lands anywhere from the 19th to 25th. Maypoles, folk dancing, and romantic rituals are the order of the day. In Ukraine and some places in Eastern Europe, the summer solstice is connected with Ivan Kapula Night, a holiday with romantic connotations for many Slavs. People dance, place flowered wreaths on water, and gather around bonfires. And in India, the birthplace of ancient practice of yoga, the summer solstice is traditionally celebrated with mass yoga sessions throughout the nation. Mass yoga. There you go. Let's see. Let's take a look at the summer breakfast menu for today. We're looking for a variety of muffins, fruit juice, and milk choice. And then for lunch today, we have the sub sandwich. It's a ham one, carrots, fresh fruit, and again, your milk choice. All right. Don't forget, Thursday night, since we're going to go right into Mike's nonprofit lowdown, don't forget, he might have this too, but the tasty fundraiser for that program to feed the kids for summer is a silent auction, and that is happening on Thursday at the Quartzsite Brewery between 3 and 7. And we turn things over to Mr. Mike Bentz.
Yeah. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, you were sitting there talking. I was thinking one of the more unique things that I've seen in my travels is car hinge.
That's
okay. How does that work?
It's actually in Alliance, Nebraska, and it's an artist that put together an exact replica of Stonehenge, but used old Cadillacs and Buicks.
Oh, that's cool.
It really is cool.
Similar to what's the Cadillac Ranch in Texas, yeah.
Outside of Amarillo, yeah.
Except I don't think they allow people to spray paint car hinge, do they?
Well, you know, they've moved that a couple of different times, and they tried to get people from stop spray painting those, and they finally just gave up.
which one's that? The car hinge or the Cadillac Ranch?
No, the other one. Yeah, one outside of Amarillo.
That one in Texas has in areas like almost a foot of spray paint, just layered up on top of each other, and it's kind of fun.
It's been there forever.
Yeah, to break it off, and there's usually people that like cut off chunks of it and make jewelry out of the old. It's pretty cool.
Humans
so
are weird.
Lobster hinge.
Lobster hinge. Yeah, we do have giant lobsters in the town where I live in Lincoln. We have a giant cement loon.
Cool.
So,
ooh.
Doesn't every restaurant have a giant lobster?
Yes, or one painted on the building.
Are you tired of lobster yet, or have you not had it enough?
Never. That's one of the benefits is lobster is my favorite thing to eat. So
how many lobster rolls have you had since you've lived there, Scott?
I've only had one lobster roll, and I was really disappointed when I was done. I wish I would have just taken the lobster tail out of the roll and ate that. They served it, and I'm sure they're different at every restaurant, but I'd never tried a lobster roll because I like just the lobster. But they gave it to me, and I guess they'd call it a hoagie bun. I call it a hot dog bun with a piece of lettuce and, some mayo and a lobster tail in it. And I was like, wow, I could have done this at home and saved $25.
Yeah, it's all you gotta get that nice soft bread in there. It's all about the bread. That's disappointing.
Yeah, it was, and it was in a town called York. We were staying right on the ocean, so that was really cool. And the restaurant was very expensive. So when you go into a very expensive restaurant and they give you a lobster roll on a hot dog bun, you kind of never want to go back.
No. Wow.
So did you see that article on the blue lobster?
I did not.
Oh, they caught a blue lobster off of Maine somewhere, and they're 1 in 2 million, and it was bright blue. Kind of reminded me of my old Chevy.
It's like an albino version of lobsters, I guess. Very, very, very rare. Yeah.
Very, very rare. In fact, this one, I guess when they catch it and catch and release, they notch the tail. And this one was the third notch when he put it back in.
Oh, wow.
So he's been caught 3 times.
So it's not a very smart
times.
lobster.
Anyway, so let's get on to the community updates. Enough about car hinge and lobster, okay?
Okay.
Or the Cadillac Ranch.
That sounds wrong.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, the chamber, just to remind people, you can get what?
Chamber bucks.
Chamber bucks. Okay, chamber bucks are available at the chamber in any denomination. They can be used in 42 plus different places in Chihuahua. And the positive about chamber bucks is every penny you purchase chamber bucks for goes back into the community when you buy something with a vendor.
Yeah, and kids love them.
And kids love them. Yeah, yes. Exactly. Okay, so let's move on to the Creative District. The Creative District is having a big event coming up on the 24th and 25th of this month. It's called Art in Full Swing. It's at the golf course. On the 24th, the artists are going to be out on the course showing people how they do what they do.
Unleashed.
And, do what?
Unleashed on the course.
Yeah, that's unleashed on the course. That's actually what it says. That in fact, when they came up with that tagline, I got a call from the president of the course saying, the golf pro saying, I don't know if I like Unleashed. People are going to see all these mad artists running around on the course.
I think that would make me want to go even more.
But, sanity prevailed and they left Unleashed. But I'm looking at the list of artists, and you can actually get this off the Creative District Facebook page. And it's kind of the who's who, Chihuahua.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, you've got Nundus Taylor, you've got Red Burnell, you've got Margot Setti, Jane Lord, Jamie Thompson, Chris Davis, Lynn Cassidy, Debbie Hubanks, Catherine Reamer, Gail Johansson, and Nancy Bloom.
All right.
Yes. So, I mean, these are all phenomenal artists. They do different types of art. So I think it's a Saturday, and Saturday looks like a beautiful day, by the way. Yes. I was kind of checking the weather. So it'll be a great time. And then with that, you'll be able to get a map. And they're going to be at 5 different locations throughout the course, some at the clubhouse, some at 3 different tee boxes, and then a couple of them at the Snack Shack. All of these are available to the public. They strategically chose these so you can actually drive up and park and be able to go over and visit with the artists and watch what they do without being hit by a golf ball.
You can see local artists in their natural habitat.
In their natural habitat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
On the golf course.
Yeah. So I'm really kind of disappointed I'm not there this weekend.
It's gonna be nice.
You could easily drive here in that time, Mike. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, except I'm dog sitting right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Make your excuses, Mr. Excuse Man.
Exactly. Well, I moved to where my daughter lives, and one of the first tasks I get is they say, we're going on vacation. Keep an eye on our L count.
So glad you're here. Bye.
Okay. Anyway, the other thing coming up in the Creative District, and maybe Chuck, you can fill in a little bit more on this, but we're looking at forming art classes for adults.
Right. Oh, don't forget on the art in full swing though. The next day on Sunday from 2 to 6 p.m. Those artists are good. Their work is going to be displayed inside the clubhouse.
That's right, inside the Rusty Putt.
Yeah, along with some other work, and that's from 2 to 6 on Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah, good catch.
So is that kind of, just to clarify there, is that so they're going to be working on their art on Saturday out on the course, and then Sunday you can see what they created indoors?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh,
that's right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And they'll have that and other things that are available for purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
So-
they're going to bring some of their other previous works, and then you'll get to see what they worked on live. It's going to be pretty cool. The last event that we did at the golf course was absolutely beautiful. The oh gosh, my brain is escaping. Mike, what was the name of it?
Light into Darkness.
Yeah, Light in the Darkness. Yeah. That was a
in January,
beautiful
yeah.
event. Yeah, and this one is shaping up to be really nice as well.
Well, and the last one, and actually, the last one in January, we by count, I think over 350 people attended.
Yeah, it was really well attended. It was
Wow.
Yeah, the artist did really well.
Yep. And so it was, hopefully it will be turned into like a signature events at the golf course and for the Creative District twice a year, once in the winter and once in the summer. So the reception has been very, very, very positive. So art classes. The Creative District's been working on putting together some adult art classes. Probably the best place to keep an eye on that will be either listen to KCHW or go to the Creative District website and or Facebook page or sign more if you want right on the spot information, sign up for our newsletter. You can go on the Creative District website and sign up for just the newsletter, or if you'd like to become a member, membership's only $25, and we appreciate every nickel that we can put together for it, because a lot of times we take that money, we use it for match on grants.
Mm-hmm.
So it not only supports what we can do locally, but it also allows us to leverage to get more dollars to bring into the community for the creatives. Art Scale, just to remind people that, in fact, I'm going to remind kind of big picture. Next week, my goal is to try to put together as much as I can of all the events that are happening in July and August. So sit down, hold up, grab a pen, and I'll attempt to talk a little slower, and maybe even we can put closed captioning up. So, but basically, there's a lot going on, and one of what's going on is a 2-day July event with the Children's Arts Festival, and I'm not going to really give out any dates because I want to verify everything, but it's always in the middle part of July. The Tooele Center for the Arts is doing their Stage Time Theater School from July 10th to the 15th. And those are from 9 to 12 every day. You can still sign up for that. You can go on their website, and it's right smack in the middle of the website for sign up for the Stage Times Theater. And I actually saw it on, I think I got a feed from them the other day. The 2023-2024 season is already in play. So there's two things. One is put it on your calendar so you can take advantage of it. And the other one is they always need volunteers. Anywhere from acting to the backstories to support, you name it. So if you want to get involved with Tooele Community for the Arts, it's a great spot to get started.
All right.
I just want to plug out there that the radio station is always looking for volunteers as well.
That's true. So is the Creative District.
Yep, exactly. Everybody, please volunteer.
You know, Tooele's main octane is volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just astounds me when I see people complain about certain things because they're not happening or they could be done better, but yet you never see their name as a volunteer.
Yeah. Well, and I think,
don't armchair quarterback events if you're not helping, right?
That's right.
Well, and I think through the Creative District and through the radio station, we're going to start working on a volunteer program its goal is to not burn out volunteers, make volunteers feel valued, and try to get as many people, more people doing less work is our goal, is to get us just really foster this creative or this volunteer spirit of the community, because it is here.
So.
That's right. And I think Brad Schaefer makes a comment, many hands make short as far as the work goes. And that's absolutely true. And, I've got one of my little Mike-isms is, if you don't play, you have no say. So, okay, well, let's go on some community events through the city, the library, and just miscellaneous. We have the co-working every fourth Wednesday at Yale Press from 11 to 2. That's a phenomenal opportunity that if you're a at-home type of business and or if you work by yourself, to get together with other people like you and share your stories and support each other. Library Tech Help is on Monday through Thursday from 3 to 5. Library Story Time is every Tuesday from 11:30. Cities and Park Rec Survey, you got 1 week left to get your opinion known. And actually, Larry Fetter is going to be on in July. I believe it's the second Wednesday. I think it's the 7th of July, to give us an update on what the survey says and how they prioritized it and give some direction. So the January 1st, Scott already brought up the Tasty at the Brewery. It's a fundraiser from 3 to 7. That's a phenomenal program, by the way. And it's been going on, I think, since I was almost in Chihuahua. It's pretty much 100% ran by volunteers and for donations. So the silent auction this time's at Quartzsite Brewery from 3 to 7. The July 15th, we're coming up with another festival called Fun in the Sun. And on June 24th, which is this coming Saturday, we also have the Columbia Community Creamery. Chuck, you got me all confused on what to call it.
I know, right?
The Columbia Community Creamery is going to have their grand opening from 10 to 4. And, of course, we have guests coming on around 8 o'clock to give us some insights on what that's all about and what their plans are, not only currently, but going into the future. And then last but not least, at the Rusty Putter or the golf course, just to remind people, the patio is open. And they've got a new summer menu, so you may want to check that out. And if you're up for the art, either on the 24th for the live art or the 25th, which is the live showing, they're going to have some specials available at the Rusty Putter also, because that's where it happens. And then also, just to remind everybody, pickleball. It's an extremely popular sport, and we do have pickleball courts at the golf course, and they're open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. And so anybody's encouraged to attend or utilize those courts. There is no fee on that. People ask that quite a bit. And there is no fee. We just ask you to, kind of pack it in, pack it out, that type of thing, and respect the facility. And then another July event that's coming up is a pickleball fest. And I'm starting to see a lot of traction on that. And I think you're going to see a huge influx of people coming in for a whole lot of things in Chihuahua, one of them being the first annual Pickleball Fest. So just, is that enough?
That's enough. That's a lot.
Did you mentioned the kids golf camp, right?
Kids golf camp is actually this week.
Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, the last day is tomorrow.
Oh,
so,
okay. Well, that explains why you
and
didn't
I
mention
haven't
it.
gotten any numbers on that, but it's one of those things I'll ask Josh Olson, and he can't give us the number, but that's always a really popular event. So my guess is they probably had 60 to 80 people, because I do know they sent out a thing to members looking for more volunteers, because they had a lot of people they want to accommodate. So,
well, I was going to swing up there later and say hi to Josh, but today's probably not a good day for that.
No, today or tomorrow, because they do the finalization, I guess, on Friday. But it's just final day of golf, and then they have the lunch and stuff like that for the kids. So.
Yeah,
Good.
The one year my kids did that, it was my first time ever golfing. I shot 2 above par on an 8-hole course. I figured I dropped the clubs. I said, that's it. I'm retiring. Can't get better than this.
I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as he said 8-hole.
Well, it was with the kids.
Thinking, what course are you playing?
It was with the kids.
He's up at Wonderland. He's in Wonderland up in Spokane.
We didn't do the full course. We just did the first 8 holes, and that's what I had the kids do at the end. And I shot 2 over par, which I was amazed by.
Really?
Yeah, and I figured I will never get better than that.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, See, well, you were probably an unconscious competent. You didn't realize you were as good as you were.
No, I tried it a little bit after, and I didn't do that again.
Okay.
So that was it.
All right, big round of applause, Mike Bentz. Thanks for bringing us all the goodies. All right, if you joined us just recently, we were talking earlier that Mike's got a couple more shows, and then he's going to continue his retirement. Marion posted that, well, don't you guys look all happy today? So we must look really happy. And then for you, Mike, she says, Mike, over the past 5 years, you have brought so much positivity and great reports of everything going on in Chihuahua. You will be missed for certain. Oh, very nice.
Thank you, Marion.
All right, I had one more, and this came in from Joan. She's given a heads up to all women in Stevens County. This is put on by the Eagle Mountain Bible Church and the Addie New Life Center. They're bringing a woman into town via a conference. It'll be simulcast from her Colorado conference. She's a Christian author and podcaster named Leslie Ludy. Get inspired, it says, to be a valiant woman. And this is going to be, having to scroll through this, locally hosted, as I said, Addie New Life Christian Center, Eagle Mountain Bible Church. If you want more information, you can call Tammy at 509-936-1267, 936-1267. You will be learning about setapart.org and through this podcast, and this is a program for women. And let's see, it's happening June 23rd, 6:30 to 8:30, and June 24th, 9 to 5 at the Addie New Life Christian Center. Once again, we'll roll out that phone number one more time, 509-936-1267. There you go.
Very cool.
I think that's all we had for community events. Did we miss anything, Chuck?
Oh, we did that today from noon to 5:45 over there by Dad's Espresso is the Chihuahua Community Blood Drive.
Okay, good deal.
And that appointments are encouraged, not necessarily required. You can go to Vitalant, VITALANT.org to schedule an appointment or use the Vitalant donor app.
All right. Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right. We got a few minutes to kill till our guests get here, and that is Brad Schaefer and Virginia. I don't know Virginia's last name, but they're going to come in and talk about the new creamery. We've plugged that a couple times. Mm-hmm. Stand by for that. That'll be as we enter the 8 o'clock hour. But first,
the following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
It's Trivia with Mike and Chuck.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I have them answered immediately.
All right, first trivia question for you guys. The largest one of these in our solar system, including Earth, is on Mars. What is it?
Crater.
I was going to say a lake.
No, to both of them. It is
cap.
called Olympus Mons.
Oh, of course.
And what is it?
A mountain.
No.
Olympus Mons.
Yes.
It's the largest one. Moon.
No, it's actually on the planet.
Oh.
You want me to read it again? Largest one
yeah.
of these in our solar system, and that includes Earth, is on Mars. All right, this is a geological formation. What is it?
Volcano.
It's called Olympus Mons. I've heard it before. What are you making signs at? Mountain. MONS.
A volcano.
It is a volcano. Good job, Chuck.
It's like that's just an angry mountain.
So he was right twice.
Yeah. Anytime that happens, you should run. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next trivia question. At 127 feet wide and 69 feet high, the largest of these in the world is installed in Leonberg, Germany.
127 feet wide, 69 feet tall.
Yeah.
I was going to say an airplane, but
And it's installed, so it's stationary.
It
does not move.
It does not move.
A statue.
No.
Payphone.
People watch it.
A television.
Big screen.
You're getting
A
warm.
jumbotron.
No.
Is that a big screen?
No. Think of that size. Used to have one in Spokane that got torn down or taken out.
Drive-in theater.
Oh, you're getting warmer, Chuck. You're on fire. Somebody get that man a hose.
Just a regular
IMAX.
theater?
A what?
IMAX.
IMAX. Mike sneaks in and takes the steal.
Nice.
Wow. No mercy, Chuck.
You know, I've still never been to an IMAX theater.
Really?
Yeah, never tried it.
They're pretty cool. The only one I've ever been in is the one at Seattle Center.
They used to have the one down in Riverfront Park that got taken out. And I believe one of the downtown, I think the River Park Square maybe has an IMAX theater in it now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right, here comes some more trivia questions. By the end of today, this will occur 101 times on average right here in the United States.
It will turn 101 times?
Nope, by the end of today, this will have occurred 101 times in the United States. And this probably happens primarily at clinics and hospitals.
What?
Helicopter lands.
Oh.
Just 101 times? I think that's a little low.
I was going to say Joe Biden will fall.
No. What? Joe Biden
Biden will fall down 101 times a day.
No,
Across
101
the US.
times in the U.S. This will occurs by the end of the day. It'll occur 101 times, and it happens at clinics and hospitals.
My hospital bill was right.
No.
Someone will shout, "What?" when they get weighed by the nurse.
You don't want to be one of the 101 people this happens to.
Somebody dies from medical malpractice issues.
You're getting warm, but it's not necessarily involving
Oh,
death.
they left like surgical instruments inside them.
I'll kind of take that. You're both are half right. It's incorrect medical procedures.
Okay.
101 people today will have an incorrect medical procedure.
I knew someone
I'm going
once
to the doctor today.
Hopefully it's just something that's like a benefit, though. Like, or at least I didn't need that anyway.
I knew someone once that was having stomach problems, and it was years after her surgery, they found a pair of those metal clampy hemostats inside of her that got sewn up.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Average one of these is 6. The average one of these is 6 pounds.
Ooh, that's a little small for a newborn.
Let's see. They're dead.
Wow, you're going dark on us today, Scott.
I did. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, your ashes after cremation.
There you go.
Oh. Okay.
Let's see. Since 1853, 28 people have done this. Some of them accidentally, others in the name of adventure. Happens right here in the United States.
Gone over Niagara Falls.
Wow, Chuck, are you cheating this morning? There
Was
you go.
Wow, that was a lucky guess.
Here's another one that could definitely hurt or kill you. So, yes, I've gone very dark today. This happens to men 4 times more than women, and you rarely survive.
Heart attack.
No, sir.
Aneurysm.
No, sir.
Really?
It has to do with an atmospheric event.
The bends.
Hit by a meteor.
Wow. The bends and hit by a meteor.
Lightning strike.
Lightning strike. There we go, Chuck.
Okay.
Wow. That's why you should always send your significant other, if she's a female, out first.
Holding an umbrella.
That's why we were on our. That's why
I need to go to the car. It's lightning. Will you go first?
And here's my metal umbrella.
Yeah, I'm a guy. Chances of you getting hit by lightning are 4 times less than me getting hit. So go.
Yeah, that's why we were on our auxiliary tower for 4 days during lightning strikes last week.
Why? Because you were hit?
No, because when we had to switch over, I was not going up to that tower while there was active lightning in the sky.
You know, I didn't want to pick on you because, but I usually just did it anyways. But I have survived 220 twice, so I feel relatively safe.
I got hit by 440 once in a shopping mall lighting system, and it was not pleasant. I don't want to do that
Are you
again.
sure there's such a thing as 440?
There is, yeah.
There is, actually.
There is,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was insulating
Wow.
pipe in a shopping mall and I accidentally grabbed the end of the light system, and there was no cover on it.
Oh.
Yeah. It blew me backwards. It was fun.
All right.
Sounds like an OSHA deal to me.
Right? It actually melted a hole in the bottom of my boot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky. You're really lucky.
Yeah.
Did you get the thing like I did when I got hit by the 220, where it's just like the cartoons that your hair is standing up and you swear there's birds tweeting and circling around your head?
I woke up on the ground with emergency medical services around me, and I'm not really sure. I don't know.
The hair definitely stood up. The other thing that really struck me as strange is when I could feel that there was something wrong, with my heart after I got hit. And I looked down and you could see my entire chest cavity heaving up about 2 inches every time my heart beat. That kind of freaked me out.
Luckily mine, I grabbed it with my right hand and it exited out of my right foot into the scaffolding I was on. And the doctors say, luckily I fell off the scaffolding and landed flat on my back because that restarted my heart. Yeah.
Jeez.
There was a little bit of physical therapy afterwards.
I woke up in a tub one time, and what it was is there was no ground on the light in the bathroom, and it had the metal cord, and the string had broke off. So in my sleep, I reached up and I grabbed the metal pull chain on the light in the bathroom. It was an old house, and I flushed the toilet at the same time. And it shocked me so hard it sent me into the bathtub.
Wow.
So I kind of come to, it's the middle of the night, I kind of come to, I get myself out of the bathtub. What do you think I did next?
Went back to sleep.
Nope, I tried to shut off the light and flush the toilet again. But the second time I got shocked, I realized why I was in the bathtub.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. This is electric. This is exciting.
Boogie woogie.
Let's wrap it up with a little breakfast bingo. I'm going to give you two the chance to spell the word bingo working together. So, Mike, actor Alex, last name.
Actor Alex.
Alex, last name.
Baldwin.
There you go. Chuck, what you use to keep a drink cold?
Ice.
In a computer animated underwater movie, a father fish is looking for his son named
Neptune.
Chuck for the save.
Nemo.
The big lizard monster thing that tears down buildings.
Godzilla.
And I guess together again, a surgical procedure for remedying an injury or an ailment.
Operation.
There you go. So despite his wrong answer, though, strangely enough, you still spelled bingo.
He answered wrong and he won.
Yes. We're going to go to break early today because we have some guests that are probably already entering the building or there.
They are
So when we
here.
come back, we're going to talk with Brad and Virginia about the new Columbia Community Creamery that the guys can't say.
Right? All right, guys. We'll see you when we get back from break.
All right. It's KCHW Chihuahua.
It's 8:04.
You're listening to Northern Lights Public Radio on 102.7 KCHW, Chihuahua, Springdale, Welpinit.
You're listening to 102.7 KCHW, Chihuahua.
The Public News Service Daily Newscast for June the 21st, 2023. I'm Mike Clifford. Environmental and community health advocates in Massachusetts are backing new legislation they say will close loopholes in the state's clean energy laws.
Lawmakers ensured wood-burning power plants were no longer eligible for credits through the state's Renewable Energy Portfolio Standard last session, but loopholes in the state's clean energy laws still subsidize burning wood for heat and energy. Laura Haidt, policy director for the Partnership for Policy Integrity, calls the bills common sense.
We should not be using Massachusetts subsidies intended to clean up our air and benefit our climate to subsidize these polluting sources of energy.
Haidt says wood burning is a major source of fine particulate emissions, a serious health hazard. EPA data shows that residential and commercial wood heating accounts for 83% of all fine particulate emissions in the Massachusetts heating sector. I'm Catherine Carley reporting.
The Telecommunications, Utilities, and Energy Committee has scheduled 2 hearings on the bills. They come up June the 28th. Next to South Carolina, where they are joining forces with neighboring states in an effort to save one of the country's most important ecosystems, salt marshes. Laura Clark is an officer with the Pew Charitable Trust.
I think it's important for people to understand the many benefits of salt marsh. Like fishing is an important part of our economy. And salt marshes provide food, shelter, and nursery grounds for more than 75% of our commercial and recreational fish species.
She says the plan will help conserve critical species and provide environmental and economic benefits for southern states. South Carolina has almost 350,000 acres of salt marsh. That's the most of any in the Southeast. Meantime, senior living facilities in states like Arizona struggle with issues ranging from neglect of residents to violence, staffing shortages, and low wages for workers.
Despite some improvements since an Auditor General's report in 2019, AARP Arizona State Director Dana Kennedy says more must be done to keep seniors safe in these facilities, and the state should be moving faster on reforms. Kennedy says the internal process must be streamlined to ensure that care facilities self-report incidents of abuse, neglect, and other deficiencies.
We know that there's supposed to be inspectors going out and looking at these self-reports as well as mandated reports. And so what's happening is we believe that they're not using the proper documentation. That's problematic because it's really hard to determine what's actually really happening.
Kennedy says reporting is important to determine the level of urgency. Swift action is needed for someone in immediate danger, but she says the current system lets some people down. I'm Alex Gonzalez reporting.
This is Public News Service. With air quality in the news of late, a new report shows transitioning to electric vehicles would bring major public health benefits.
The American Lung Association report says moving the nation to 100% emission-free new passenger vehicles along with non-combustion energy generation by 2035 could bring with it nearly $1 trillion in public health benefits. The report estimates that by 2050 there would be over 89,000 fewer premature deaths along with 10.7 million fewer lost workdays. Will Barrett with the American Lung Association says the clean air impact for public health in Maryland amounts to billions of dollars.
In Maryland, that could amount to $23 billion in public health benefits out to 2050 and saving over 2,000 lives because the air will be that much cleaner as we transition to zero-emission passenger vehicles as well as cleaner energy fueling them.
The report, titled Driving to Clean Air, estimates the state would see 52,000 fewer asthma attacks and 260,000 fewer lost workdays by 2050. Brett Pivoto reporting.
And during Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, experts are seeking better access to Alzheimer's treatment drugs.
80,000 people aged 65 and older live with this illness, and a report from the Alzheimer's Association finds this number is expected to grow to 91,000 by 2025. While there is no cure for Alzheimer's, the Food and Drug Administration has approved new drugs to slow its progression. But Kristen Cruzado, with the Connecticut chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, says there are still hurdles for people who need them.
CMS, the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare, said we will not cover this drug or any other drugs of this class. We, as the Alzheimer's Association, typically we're pretty quiet. We are getting loud about this and holding rallies and really demanding that CMS change their mind.
She adds medications offering families hope should not cost almost $30,000 and should be available to people who need them. I'm Edwin J. Vieira.
Finally, Eric's Bureau of Land Management is investing $161 million to restore public lands in Wyoming and 10 other western states.
Joshua Metton with the Theodore Roosevelt Conservation Partnership says after years of development, drought, and wildfires, the BLM's priority investments in LaBarge and Muddy Creek will be a win-win for all who call these landscapes home. He says there are shovel-ready projects to help increase forage, critical for livestock, grazers, and big game.
And then local communities stand to benefit from these projects as well because of jobs created for getting boots on the ground. And then also things like wildfire mitigation and stream health improvements will all be really beneficial.
I'm Eric Galatas.
This is Mike Clifford for Public News Service, member and listener supported. Here are some interesting radio stations, your favorite podcast platform. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
It's 8:11.
Your KCHW Morning Show is made possible by donations from Chihuahua Flooring.
Chihuahua Flooring at 214 East Clay in the 3rd Street Mall offers a wide variety of products including carpet, ceramic and porcelain tile, vinyl and laminate planks, and vinyl sheet flooring. Chihuahua Flooring carries products for both commercial businesses and residential homes, including brands like National Flooring, Dell Tile, Mannington, and Mohawk. They also offer blind repair. For more information, you can visit online at chihuahuaflooring.com, call 509-935-8021, or via email at chihuahuaflooring@gmail.com.
Your KCHW Morning Show, made possible by a donation from God-Fearing Brothers Auto Center. God-Fearing Brothers specializes in auto services, including repair, maintenance, and detailing. They also stock a full selection of tires, make glass repairs, offer towing, and have an auto sales lot on the corner of Highway 395 and Main Street at the light. For more information, you can visit the Auto Service Center at 806 East Main in Chihuahua. Find them online at godfearingbrothers.com or by phone at 509-935-6414. KCHW-FM thanks God-Fearing Brothers for supporting public radio in Stevens County.
This is KCHW, Chihuahua, 102.7 FM.
Good morning. Welcome back to the KCHW Morning Show. We're here with Brad Schaefer and Virginia Thomas from the Columbia Community Creamery to tell us a little bit about the new creamery that's opening up in town this weekend.
Hey, Chuck. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us on the show. We're pretty excited to be here and ready to gush all about the creamery.
Yeah.
Brad, this is twice this month for you.
I know. Most of you radio listeners out there know me from the farmers market, but another hat I wear is with another nonprofit in town, the Columbia Community Creamery, which hopefully most people out there have heard about either through the newspapers or Chuck talking about it here on the radio. And I don't have the computer in front of me. Is Mike? Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, nice. Very good. I was hoping you'd be in the studio today. Is it snowing over there in Montana?
It snowed yesterday.
Did it? That is crazy. Yeah, we've been worried about frost here. I've been warning my farmers at the market about the frost, but
yeah. Well, I was telling them earlier it was 38 degrees this morning, but it's supposed to be up pushing 70 today. So
yeah, wow. Well, fortunately, the cold weather doesn't affect dairy cows, so the milk is flowing. But I'm excited to be here with Virginia this morning. You may have met Virginia at the farmers market. She owns and operates Clover Mountain Dairy, and she and her husband Stacy manage that together, and they are the real instigators and movers and shakers when it comes to the creamery. And I'll let Virginia talk about how that all started.
Yeah.
Good morning. It's so great to be here. Thank you.
Good morning.
So yeah, the creamery started as this idea of, how could we bring back some dairy farming in this area? So historically, dairy farming started in 1825 in this area. There were 3 dairy cows that came to Fort Colville, and it had been going strong for the last 200 years. In the 60s, we had about 360 dairy farms, and as of this past year, we had 8. And so some of the things that happened there were we had lower milk prices. There were some different government programs, other things happening. And one of the biggest things is lack of access to market and processing and distribution. So we ourselves, when we decided to start our dairy farm about 4 years ago, our only option was to process our own products and sell them. We've loved being a part of the Chewelah Farmers Market and meeting Brad and all the other great people here in Chewelah. And then we thought, this is great. There's this huge demand here, and what we're missing is just that access. So we had this great idea to talk to some other local people and start a nonprofit and began a bottling mission here in Chewelah. And it has been a great journey. It's been a lot of work. There's been a lot of great volunteers, and we could not have done it without the community.
That's amazing. And like you said, we were talking a moment ago, this is the only nonprofit community creamery in the whole entire United States, correct?
This is correct. We are a 501c3 nonprofit with the IRS, and it is, as far as we know, we've done a lot of research into it. We have not been able to find any other nonprofit milk processing plant in the United States.
And it's right here in Chewelah. It's like, how cool is that for Chewelah?
That is incredible. Hold off the tourists.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I got to say, again, just putting Stacy and Virginia back on that pedestal, the expertise and passion that they bring to this. They met in the Coast Guard, not knowing their kind of dairy backgrounds, but they both had a passion for cows, for dairy farming. Stacy, in particular, comes, I think he's 3rd generation as far as being involved with the dairy business. His grandfather actually hauled milk, and Stacy is passionate about it. It runs in his blood, and it's been just a joy to work with them. The board is comprised of farmers, veterinarians, some legal and business expertise. I'm probably the least farmer-ish of everyone on the board, so it's my head's been exploding every day working alongside these amazing people and learning all about the dairy industry and farming in general.
But you run the farmers market. Do you get much more farmery than that?
Well, that has helped also. It does wonders for my garden, because anytime I see some leaf curl or something yellowing, I run to my farmers, and they give me great advice to make sure that my garden doesn't crash.
I'm about to lose a peach tree to leaf curl.
Yeah, sulfur spray in the spring is what I understand.
Okay, cool. I'll try that.
All right, so you guys put this group together in 2022, and I see you have a mission statement. Will you share that with us?
Oh, sure, yes. Our main mission at the Creamery is to provide market access, processing, and distribution for small dairy farmers so they can stay on their farms, diversify income, and provide high-quality dairy products for the community, thus increasing food security, access, and premium nutrition.
It's what really sets the Creamery apart from every other bottle of milk out there. And if you look at our slogan, it's more than just a bottle of milk, and really it's the quality, because it is small enough and hands-on enough. The milk comes from mainly Jersey cows, and it's going to be A2 milk, and it's going to be delicious. And the kind of vitamins, minerals, enzymes from the real light pasteurization that the milk goes through will produce what we feel is going to be a much more superior glass of milk than what you can pick up in the grocery store. In fact, Virginia, why don't you embellish that a bit as far as the quality of the milk, and you talk about cream lines and stuff and butterfat.
See, Brad knows what I love to talk about. So first just talk a little bit about pasteurization. So our pasteurization process is called vat pasteurization, which is 145 degrees for 30 minutes, which is very different than the milk that you'll find at the grocery store, which is ultra pasteurized, which is 280 degrees. So we are really going after what we call the fresh milk market. Mm-hmm. And as Brad mentioned, it is going to be in your classic glass bottle. We'll have a cream line because we're non-homogenized. This gives a lot of opportunities to the consumer to do what they want with the milk. They can pour off some of the cream. They can make their own butter. They can make yogurt, kefir, whatever they want to do at their own home. And those products you really can't make with ultra-pasteurized milk.
Right.
And as Brad mentioned, our farmers that we're getting our milk from, we're starting with 2 farms. And they predominantly have Jersey cows, which usually have higher components like higher butter fat, solids, non-fat. And it just makes the milk creamier. It coats the glass, and it has a better mouthfeel. So that's completely different than the milk that you'll get in the grocery store.
There is something deeply satisfying about having that glass container in your hands and pouring out of it. I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm at my grandma's house or something,
It's a gorgeous bottle. Yeah, the way, like you say, the way it feels in your hand,
right.
The way it looks on the shelf. I imagine some of our customers will probably be keeping 1 or 2 of those to put up on their shelves and just as mementos.
We have a shelf.
Did you happen to bring one with?
I did not.
We did not.
Okay.
Darn.
But you can go. We have a website, cccmilk.org, and we have the image on our website.
Very cool. Cool. So I know a minute ago you mentioned A2 milk. Can you describe the difference? What is A2 milk? I've seen that on containers before.
Okay, sure. So A2 milk has to do with the protein in milk casein, and for some people, they can be a little bit more sensitive to that. Mm-hmm. In A1 milk, which is just a genetic term, it has to do with the genetics of the milk. It is part of that protein can break off and be inflammatory to some people, but not to all people. And then most milk in the United States has some type of A1 in it. If somebody can drink goat milk and they don't have an issue, goat milk is all A2. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we'll have people who would say, oh, I could drink goat milk, but I can't drink cow's milk. So that could be an issue if they're not lactose intolerant, which has to do with the sugar in milk.
Right.
So all it means is that the protein stays whole and it can be easier to digest for some people who could be sensitive to it.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, sorry, I have ran out of stuff to talk about. So I didn't run out. I'm just so gobsmacked by that. I don't know what else to say.
Well, we could talk a little bit about funding, maybe, and our sponsors.
Sure. So our organization was very fortunate to approach the Washington State Department of Agriculture and get a grant for $455,000. And that was very key for us getting up and running. Dairy processing equipment is very expensive, which is one of the reasons that it's hard to get into the dairy industry. We've already spent over $300,000 just on equipment, including a 500-gallon pasteurizer, an ice builder, which helps chill down the milk, a bottling machine, and a bottle washer. So it's a lot of infrastructure that we had to get. Separately, we have other sponsors, such as Dairy Farmers of Washington, STCU Foundation Here for Good, and the Pacific Coast Coalition for another $50,000, which has helped us do a lot more marketing and promotion and expand into ice cream production later this summer.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the products that you're going to be starting with and your sort of evolution of what you plan on being able to provide there.
Our flagship product is going to be our whole milk in a half-gallon glass bottle. And then we are also going to do chocolate milk, and we'll have cream. In the wintertime, we'll have eggnog. Ooh. And then we are expanding into ice cream later this summer once we buy some more equipment.
Very cool. Any plans for cheese in the future? Or is that a secondary processing?
Our like Clover Mountain is strictly doing, because they'll be selling their liquid milk to the creamery, they are specializing in cheese. Our other dairy, the Wolf Farm down by Deer Park, they also specialize in cheeses. So it's not anticipated at this time. I mean, future looking, who knows, 30, 40 years in the future, we might consider something like that. But right out of the gate, cheese really isn't on the table, so to speak. Just to hit back on the equipment that we purchased, if you haven't been by the creamery, make sure to come by on Saturday for the grand opening, which we'll talk about here in a bit. This equipment, it's all kind of surgical stainless steel, gleams. These are pieces of art. It's amazing. This 500-gallon vat pasteurizer that Virginia mentioned, it stands almost taller than me. It's like an old growth tree. You can't reach your hands around it, and it's just beautiful. The piping, because everything has to be stainless steel because you're dealing with a food product that gets ingested, and it's just gorgeous. The bottler, all of that. So,
Nice.
and the way we've built the creamery, we have a large processing room. It's down there next to Quartzsite Comfort, right here on Park Street in Chewelah. And then we have the retail space, a smaller space next to it. In the retail space, we put in a couple of glass French doors so that you can stand there and watch the processing happening, which will be on Mondays at this point. And so it's kind of like a brew pub, you come by and you can be in the retail space and look through those glass doors and watch the magic happen.
Yeah, get yourself a growler of milk.
Yes.
So I'm glad that Brad brought up the grand opening this Saturday. We cannot emphasize how important the community has been to this project. That is why the word community is in the name,
Right.
Columbia Community Creamery. The creamery only exists for the community of dairy producers and the consumers. And we've had so many community members who have volunteered time, their donations, also giving supplies and free advertising. And so we want to have the community come in on Saturday and see everything that they've helped make happen.
Right.
In case somebody doesn't live in town and hasn't noticed your location, share that with us.
So as Brad mentioned, it is on Park Street. It is actually 519 North Park Street. It is beside Quartzsite Comfort and across from Zips drive-through.
Yeah, and Park Street is also, of course, known as Highway 395. It's the corner where the complex sits, where the creamery is at. It's kitty corner from the city park. So most folks know where that city park is at. So if you look sort of across the street and down to the south, you'll see the creamery building there.
Okay.
So, all right, my next question, out of curiosity, sorry, Chuck.
Oh no, go ahead.
Is how does the prices? Hopefully, I'm sure you guys have thought about that. How do the prices compare to what I might buy in a store, a grocery store?
That's a good question. So our price for the half gallon of glass bottled milk at the store is going to be $5.50. And again, our product is a fresh milk product that's non-homogenized. It compares very well with the higher end of the milk that you would buy at the grocery store. And we're also going to have a very unique feature available in the next couple of weeks. We have purchased a milk dispensing machine from England that was actually made in Switzerland.
Ooh.
And it is going through customs as we speak to get to our facility. And what that would allow is somebody can come in with their own bottle and basically get their own milk. And there'll be a little discount for that. I think that would be $5 for a half gallon. So we're really trying to make the consumer be able to come in and feel like they're part of that process.
Right.
Which is super exciting because these machines, this will be, to our knowledge, again, it'll be the first one in the United States. This milk dispensing machine. There's a couple, maybe two, that we know of up in Canada.
I was going to say, it makes me think of Canada.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, anyone who's been to Europe, although I've been to Europe a number of times and I didn't notice these, they didn't jump out at me, but apparently these are used all over Europe, and people are used to them there, and we want to familiarize consumers, our customers here, with that. But again, another first for Chewelah is the very first one of these machines in the United States of America.
And part of that is our mission of trying to reconnect the consumer with the dairy farmer.
Right.
There's a label fatigue that is going on right now in our culture, where there's so many labels on food that you don't know what to think or who to trust.
Right.
And we're like, trust the farmer. Get to know your farmer. And so coming in, seeing information about our farmers, having events where they can meet their farmers and come in and get their own milk makes them even more connected to their food.
Right. So glass bottles, community creamery, this makes me imagine like the old style milk delivery guys. Are any plans of deliveries in the future or any discussions about that?
So we do not have any discussions right now for home delivery in the Chewelah area. We will be delivering to other retail outlets north and south of Chewelah as we grow our production. But that is always an opportunity for somebody, another independent person who wanted to start a delivery route. They could do that.
You could do it through like an Uber Eats or something delivery person, maybe.
I remember as a kid, Early Dawn Dairy in Spokane Valley, they would... that little milk box in the front porch was a magic thing. You'd close it up, and then you'd open it up, and there was milk sitting in there, and that would be a good entrepreneurial thing, even with just within the Chewelah city limits, perhaps.
Maybe home builders would start putting the milk doors back in. Those little hatch, you open them up, and they're insulated, and they put the milk in there.
That even goes back further than my memory.
Right?
So.
I love old houses.
Yeah, fun stuff.
So you mentioned to a retailer. Can you tell us where else we can get your milk other than in person at the creamery?
Sure. So currently we have Main Market Co-op in Spokane. So that's the only food co-op in Spokane. We're also going to be talking to some other retailers in the Spokane area. North of Spokane, we are planning to be in the Yokes in Deer Park, also the little grocery store at Loon Lake. In Chewelah, obviously, we'll be at our creamery store. Heading north, we will be at the Blue Creek Mercantile. If you've never been to the Blue Creek Mercantile, I highly recommend it. It's a great family-owned store. And then at the Huckleberries and Super One in Colville, and we're at talks with Myers Falls Market in Kettle Falls.
Oh, wow.
So that's where we're starting with.
Quite a few places then.
Yeah.
That's a good distribution, yeah. So when you said earlier you're doing the processing on Monday, so what are you open like 5 days a week? What are the hours? What's the shelf life of the milk?
Yeah, I'll let Virginia address the shelf life question, but it's still a little bit in flux. The milk at the farmers market, there will be a booth for the Columbia Community Creamery, and we will be selling the liquid milk then at the farmers market. And so on Fridays, we're going to direct people, of course, to the farmers market rather than the retail space. We anticipate at this point being open on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And but those hours are subject to change, so not written in stone. But it's we're. Even though $500,000 for buying this equipment and setting up the creamery sounds like a lot of money, it was quickly consumed. It was over $300,000 just for all this amazing artistic-looking stainless steel equipment that's been installed to process and bottle and wash the bottles and everything else. But we're really working on a shoestring. So anyone you see in the retail space, all the work that the board has done, that Virginia and Stacy and Merritt Atchison and I have done, and a number of other people whose names I should probably mention, but I'm not right now. It's all volunteer. No one's getting paid, and it's going to be the same moving forward until the entire enterprise gets that uplift to where we are operating at a profit, and so that's where we really appreciate the support of the community and the surrounding region to buy a top shelf. It's the Patron of the milk. It's very top shelf. The best of the best, and I'm pretty excited about drinking it as soon as possible.
And then you had a question about shelf life. So a standard shelf life is about 14 days that we'll put on the milk, and then it can change a little bit because milk changes during the year, especially if you're doing any type of grazing. So we can range it sometimes between 14 to 18 days. But in general, 14 days is a good number to think about for shelf life. And usually a half gallon of milk is not going to last 14 days in your fridge because you're going to drink it before then.
Right. Exactly. Especially if it's this good, right?
Yeah, well, it's not a sterile milk like ultra pasteurized, where they kill off any kind of live cultures, microbes in there, so that they can get this shelf life that lasts as long as a chicken McNugget. And so if to have that kind of quality, to have those live cultures and enzymes in the milk, you have to have that shorter shelf life. But we consider that it's a much better product for you.
Right.
And talking about shelf life, if you go and look at ultra pasteurized milk in the grocery store, it might have a date in August. It's late June right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you read on the carton, it will say use within 5 days. Like once you open it, use
Right.
within 5 days. And that's because it is basically sterile. Whereas vat pasteurization is the best balance between getting rid of any possible pathogens,
Mhm.
but leaving in all that wonderful, healthy enzymes and good bacteria that your body needs.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, you can use it to make, like, for instance, yogurt, and you can't do that with a store-bought milk, can you? With the ultra-pasteurized? Is that...
Yes, correct. So
Okay.
with ultra pasteurized, you might be able to, but it's not going to be as good a quality product,
Or
and
you're
it
going to
may
have
not
to
last as long.
or you have to reintroduce those enzymes or add
Right.
something to it instead of just using what's already in the milk.
Correct.
Okay.
And is Clover Mountain going to be doing yogurt?
Yes, I have so many requests for yogurt. We do a whole fat plain yogurt that's cream top in quart glass bottles, and we are getting ready to start our yogurt production.
Then the yogurt, I've been a fan of Clover Mountain yogurt for a long time. It's, if you've ever had like Nancy's or some of those other more natural types, they're pretty tangy. I like that tanginess.
Mhm.
You can add then your fruits or whatever to bring up a certain sweetness. But when I first get their yogurt and I put it on the shelf, if I have it within the 24 hours right afterwards, it's probably more creamy than tangy. But
Mhm.
I leave it in the fridge, and within a week, you don't want to leave it too long, of
Right.
course, but within a week, it starts getting that tanginess to it that I really love, and probably has more of a kind of a buttery feel than other competitors that you can get off the shelf in the grocery store. So, again, another highly superior product put out by our local dairies.
Very cool. And I believe yesterday was National Plain Yogurt Day, if I remember right, Scott.
It was.
Yeah.
I got a question, you guys. I'm sure it's just an estimate because you're just getting things fired up, but I was really impressed with all the retail locations that you named off, because that can be a tough thing to get into. I know I had a friend in the area, had a bottled water company for a while, and he really had to struggle to get his own bottled, his company's bottled water past like Coca-Cola and Pepsi and into retail gas stations. It can be a very difficult thing. So hats off for getting all these stores, and especially like a regional chain like Yolks. I'm guessing it's just at the Deer Park location, but hats off for getting that kind of stuff together. My question is do you guys have an estimate of how much milk you guys have to have in a week to supply these different retail locations and the store itself?
Yes, so starting out, we're going to be processing up to 500 gallons once a week on Mondays, so that'd be 1,000 bottles of milk, and depending on how many people are going to these different stores, we have an estimate of how much each store needs. And so we'll start with our local stores and just the main market co-op in Spokane, and then we can expand out from there. So the next stop would be doing another processing within the week. So maybe we process on Mondays, and then we process on Thursdays, and then we can just keep adding on. And that's how we will grow.
All right.
Yeah,
cool.
and as far as profitability and that kind of bright line, well, not quite a bright line, a fuzzy line, where break even as far as paying costs and keeping the creamery up and running, we anticipate about 300 gallons per week that we would like to move through the creamery, and sky's the limit beyond that. At a certain point, you hit capacity with the size of the pasteurizer and distribution and everything else, and I hope we hit that capacity level very fast and continue to grow, because this model, as far as and that's what's so exciting about this is this model supporting small dairy farmers. It can be used in other places, and we hope to expand regionally. Would be wonderful. I mean, obviously, we need to make a success of what we got going on so far, but for other creameries and dairies looking at us, and people are very interested. The word has gotten out. And we have an active Facebook and Instagram page, and a lot of other small dairies, Oregon and Idaho, are following us and watching very closely to see about our success.
I can imagine. So I have another quick question. So you mentioned up to this point it's been volunteers, primarily almost exclusively volunteers, right?
Yes, yeah.
So once the milk goes into production, are there going to be people there that work there, or is it all going to be run by volunteers, or will these farmers come in and produce their own milk?
So it currently is still going to be volunteers probably for the first month. Myself and my husband are licensed pasteurized operators through Washington State Department of Agriculture because we have a pasteurizer on our farm for our products. So we need to be the ones to start the processing so we can standardize operations and then be able to create a job description and be able to train somebody. So that's probably going to be for the first month, and same on the retail side, just as we're working out the bugs and making sure we have everything down. But we are planning to hire people starting probably at the end of July and into August.
Okay, very cool. Very cool.
That'd be awesome, creating jobs in the community too.
Right.
Yes.
So is there anything else we need to know?
No, I'm just excited about it. I mean, the whole, as far as to just ping off Scott's question a little bit more, getting into these retailers, the glass bottle is super exciting. There are no glass bottle alternatives as far as the type of liquid milk that we'll be putting out there. And so these retailers were very excited that we were going to be in glass bottles so they could be returned. As far as the environmental impact and customers that are concerned about that, and hopefully they all are. It's a great alternative, and then again the quality of the milk, the vat pasteurized without being homogenized tends to be somewhat unique. So they're excited to get that product, and because these retailers, they want to offer an array of products for their customers, and this is going to be again the top shelf liquid milk product that they'll be able to offer to their customers.
Oh, and those glass bottles, do they have the ability to return those directly to the retail location? And you guys can clean those out and reuse them?
Yes, so the glass bottle will have a deposit on it. I think it's about $2.50.
Okay.
So when you bring back your bottle, you basically get a fresh, clean bottle of milk and either swap it out or they'll credit you $2.50 and then charge you $2.50 again because when you return the bottle. And then obviously you can return the bottles to Chihuahua at our store. And
you can bring in then, wash out your glass bottle and then bring it in and use the automatic milk dispenser to fill that up. And what's the pricing on that? Is there a price break for the dispenser?
Yes, so the dispenser would be $5 for a half gallon.
Okay.
Save yourself 50 cents, bring in your own bottle.
Beautiful.
And then I just want to share two other quick things. A lot of people ask us, why do we like dairy farming and we like cows? And I'd like to tell people that cows are magical creatures that turn grass into ice cream. So how can you not love them?
Right.
And ice cream in August. Is that what I heard?
That's what we're going for.
Wow.
Okay. Well, keep me apprised because I need an August trip.
There you go.
Yes. We miss you, Mike. We miss you so much.
Will you guys give us, before we cut you loose, will you give us a whole rundown of Saturday, what people can expect at the grand opening?
Sure. So the grand opening is going to start at 1 o'clock, and Brad Extraordinaire is going to be leading a small little introduction and discussion of how we got to where we're at, thanking a couple of different people. We're going to have, instead of a ribbon cutting, we're going to have a ceremonial drinking of like the first bottle of milk for the board members and the dairy farmers there. So you also get to meet the dairy farmers when you come. There'll be a tour through the processing plant so you can see all the nice shiny stainless steel and into the retail space. We have some really amazing historic photos of dairy farming in this area that our board member Aubrey Markle, who's also the local ag teacher, put together. And then we'll have milk and cookies. So everybody will get a chance to drink some milk, taste it, and then cookies from the bread box. So that's what we have planned.
And there will not be retail sales available on Saturday. That's we'll be rolling that out in the next week or so after that. But there will be plenty of milk to drink there. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will you have champagne flutes?
No, we'll have little milk pint bottles.
Yeah.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You know, Brad, when you were on talking about the farmers market a couple weeks ago, I told you, and I haven't dug through my coin collection yet, but I mentioned to you that I do have a $1 Chihuahua Creamery token. And I'm going to guess that's from probably around as old as it looks. It's probably around from the 40s. I don't know when the last time Chihuahua had a creamery in it. You guys might. But it was a $1 token, so I would say it's probably a little newer as opposed to older.
Yeah, this area was, I'll call it the dairy capital of should I say Eastern Washington? But if this when you come into the creamery, as Virginia mentioned, we have these historic photographs hanging on the walls, and there's a number of slogans on various trucks and signage. There's one of an old float. I don't know if that was from the 20s or 30s that was passing through Chihuahua. And the slogans on there talk about Chihuahua and this area being the dairy capital, the dairy center of the region. And so even coming in just to look at those photographs is pretty amazing. People just don't realize that, because the dairy industry here has, as far as small dairy farmers go, it's shrunk so much over the years. Early 60s, over 300, and now we're down to 8. And so there's not that awareness as there was back then, because back then there were so many more people involved with the dairy industry. You had it supported so many more people. The reach was so far and wide within the region. These hundreds and hundreds of farms that were milking cows and providing high quality milk to all over Eastern Washington, and it's exciting to get back on track with that and kind of reverse the trends that have been happening over the last 50 years.
Right. Well, this is certainly an exclamation point on that. You know, to really sort of hopefully bring that focus back.
The only nonprofit in the United States of America.
That
is incredible.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That deserves a big old round of applause. Wow. I'm going to dig through my coin collection too here, and I'll come across that, and I'll donate that to you guys if you'd like to have it for your history of dairy farming, and maybe you guys can look at it and actually pinpoint where it came from, or somebody will spot it in your store and go, oh, an older person in the community, I remember when you could get those in Chihuahua. But it does say Chihuahua Creamery, and it's stamped with $1, and it's about the size of a silver dollar.
Yeah. I think those were called pogs back in the day. That were on top of bottles like that, and yeah, Scott, that's super generous. We'll take that, we'll frame it and put it up on the wall and highlight not only you but your amazing radio station here too.
Very cool. And there's a spot right up there on that shelf for one of those glass bottles.
Yes, and the creamery would really, I don't think we become members of Northern Lights, and so we'd like to write a check today for $102.70 to become members.
Wow,
I appreciate that. Thank you guys.
You bet.
That's awesome.
All right, that is, and you guys remember as a member too, if you guys get to a point where you want to do an announcement, you get a discount for sponsoring the program. But anytime you want, you can go to the website and you can or send it directly to Chuck, and you can give us information for a public service announcement that we'll put in the community calendar. Any nonprofit, anywhere can submit stuff to us, but we'd love to help you guys as much as we can, get your feet under you, and get going with another great thing out of Chihuahua.
Absolutely.
I love you, Scott.
I love you,
Mike,
Brad.
and Chuck, and Virginia.
This is amazing. Right. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Yeah,
this has
for
really been fun.
having
It's been a good interview.
If you just joined us, you've been listening to Virginia Thomas, if I got that right, and Brad Schaefer representing our new Columbia Community Creamery. Do not forget, their grand opening is Saturday at 1 p.m. Tours, milk, cookies, it says on there. And Brad did point out there will not be the sales of milk until a week or two beyond that. But come check out what they're doing and help them build their excitement. There's going to be a short ceremony, and you'll be able to, they said, to meet the dairy farmers as well, correct?
Yes, you nailed it.
Great job.
All right. So for you, I'm sure you got a ton of people that have helped you, but everybody involved in helping get the creamery started. Big round of applause. It's cool. Yes. And I would just like to say I love milk. I've called myself throughout my life a milkaholic, so I can't wait to come back and visit and try it, because I don't think you could probably mail it to me.
Right, probably not.
All right, thank you guys again for coming in, and that's going to do it for our show for the day. Don't forget, tomorrow we lower our IQs. It's Three Amigos Thursday here on the morning show, beginning at 7:20 with Chuck Ritchie, myself, Scott Allen, and Alan Milani. Other than that, Mike Bent's got one more week, so you better come back next Wednesday and check in with Mike.
That's right. Wow, I can't believe you're leaving us, Mike.
This is the way we feel. Or maybe this.
Yeah, but I'm still available for guests.
It's not the same.
Well, at least you've been weaning us off slowly, over the last few months, and it's sort of like
true. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, either one of you, Chuck or Mike, anything else you want to share as we wrap up the show today?
No, I don't have anything, except I'm not going to be here on Saturday, and I might want to talk to you guys about maybe getting a little sneak peek preview, if that's possible.
Maybe try to save your goodie bag.
Yeah, maybe not. Or maybe you won't get me in there because you're probably going to be busy this weekend. But all right, guys.
I'm going to say, don't forget Art in the Full Swing.
That's right.
Swing. I'll get it out. Coming up.
Art in Full Swing Saturday and Sunday.
Art in Full Swing Saturday and Sunday. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Stop by the creamery and do a visit there. Then come up to the golf course and visit with the artists. And then on Sunday, stop by and take a look at their art.
And
that'll work out.
Golf course and the Rusty Putter.
That'll work out great because your Art in Full Swing on Saturday goes from 10 to 1. So, fit both of them in there and support the artists and support the new creamery. And then to give Brad a plug, don't forget Farmers Market 11 to 3:30 on Friday, right, Brad?
It's going to be an amazing 3 days, isn't it? Yeah.
It is.
Yes. All right. Enjoy your day. Keep on listening to the music. It is Northern Lights Public Radio.
Thank you, guys.
All right.